Hello, year six. I hope all of you are doing so well. And in today's lesson, we're going to talk about adding and subtracting both whole numbers and decimals. All right, as you see here in the first question that we have over here, 42 minus 23, 35 plus 21. These are very easy questions that you guys already took in year one and year two. Well, most probably only year one, actually. They're very easy, and I know that all of you already know how to do this. These are simple questions that just require you to do them mentally. And in the worst case scenario, if you cannot do them mentally, we just write the answer. We write them above each other this way, 42 minus 23. And we just follow the same way that all of you already know, which is just here, we're going to borrow because of course we cannot take from the two 3. So we're just going to borrow. This is going to become 3. This is going to become 12. This is going to be 9. And here, this is going to be 1. Today's lesson is not about how to teach you to this or teaching you, sorry. It's not about teaching you how to do this. Well, today's lesson is more about decimals and missing numbers or missing addends. So let's imagine that this is not 42 minus 23. Oh, let's remove this here. Let's imagine that this is 4.2 minus 0.23. In order to subtract any decimal number or to subtract or add decimals, the first step that you must do is to line up the decimal points. Even if you have a question like this, let's say 3.5 plus 21, Mr. I have only one decimal number and the other one is a whole number. Line up the decimal point. How are we going to line up the decimal points, Mr. Ahmed? There is no decimal here. Well, if you remember, from year 5, all whole numbers have decimal points, but they are invisible. They always exist at the end of the number. So here is 21 is actually 21.0. Okay, but it is invisible. It's not there. So that's how we're going to line it up. Okay, let's do this together. So for example, here, we're going to do this question here. 3.5 plus 21, we need to do that. First step, as we agreed, line up the decimal points, even if only one number has a decimal and the other is a whole number without any decimal points. Here, 3.5, the 3 is here on the left side of the decimal point. Here is plus, and 0.5 is here after the decimal point. And then I have 21, and we agreed 21 as a decimal is going to be what? It's not going to be 0.21. That would be wrong. We agreed any whole number is just 21.0 this way. 1 is the first digit before the decimal point. 2 is the second digit before the decimal point. And then I have here a 0. All right, now adding them all up is 5, 4, 2. And this is how we can add or subtract decimals, even if it has only one number with a decimal and the other doesn't have a decimal point. We apply the same steps, line up the decimal points, the first step. You don't line them up, I'm sorry to tell you that definitely your question is going to be wrong. Your answer is going to be wrong. Same steps exactly can be followed if you're going to subtract decimals. The same steps exactly, but instead of addition, is going to be subtraction. All right, let's now erase all of this and move to the next level. Here, as you see, the next 4 questions are different. They're not the same. They're not questions here. If you see here, it's a equals 21 minus what? They're giving you the answer. They're giving you the difference, but part of the question is missing. It's the opposite. They're not asking for the difference. They're not asking for the sum. No, they're giving you one of the addends. One of the addends is missing. So it's part of the question here. The equal sign, whether it's here on the left side or on the right side, like here, it is the same exactly, doesn't make any difference at all. Okay, so here, how can we do this? If you're dealing with an addition question like this here, Or like this one here, if it is addition, we're always going to subtract. So if you're dealing here with plus, if you're dealing with addition, like in question 3 and in question 4, we're just going to subtract. Subtract what and what? Subtract big minus small. Big minus small. A question like question 3 here, I'm sure that all of you already can do this mentally just once you see 35 plus what is 40. All of you already know that it's 35 plus 5. But if it is a bigger number or a more complicated question, all you need to do is just to subtract a missing number in addition, you're going to subtract. So here, big minus small, 40 minus 35 is going to be 5, as you see here. Okay, all right. In the fourth question here, it is also addition, and we would like to find the missing addend here. How are we going to find it? Okay, we agreed. If it is addition, we're going to subtract. So here, what are we going to subtract? We might find here someone saying that, oh, Mr. is going to be 5.2 minus 10. Well, there are two mistakes here. There are two mistakes. The first mistake is that that person has put the small number up, it's 5 and apart, and here is 10. Imagine that you're eating, oh, Mr., it's 52. No, it's not 52, it's 5.2. So this is definitely smaller. It cannot be at the top this way. So it needs to be 10 minus 5.2. And this is the first mistake, that they need to be turned upside down. All right, so what about the second mistake, Mr. Ahmed? You said there are two mistakes. The second mistake is if you put like this 10 minus 5.2, the answer is definitely going to be wrong. Why? Because as we agreed, in adding or subtracting decimals, the decimal, you need to line up the decimal points. This is the first thing that you need to do. Line the decimal points up. All right, let's do this together. Point, point. Sorry for this weird line. Point. Then we agreed it's 10. Oh, what is 10 as a decimal? Yeah, it is 10.0, not 0.10. 10.0, then 5 under the first number here on the left side of the decimal point, 0.2. Now we can subtract. After borrowing, of course, you're going to find that this is here going to be 0 and that the 0 is going to be 10, but we're going to take from it 1. So it's going to become a 9 for this to become 10. Now, after you subtract, this is going to be 8. This is going to be 4. 4.8. Some of you might be able to do this mentally. Congratulations and great job. If you cannot do this mentally and you still need to practice how to do it mentally, no problem. This is how to do it. All right, this is when it comes to addition, Mr. Ahmed. He said, whenever you find addition, we're just going to subtract. Big minus small. What if I have subtraction? If it's minus, are we going to add? Not in all cases. We have here two cases. If the missing number here, we agreed this is the answer, the difference, okay? Here is the difference, so let's ignore them. Let's ignore them just for now, okay? Let's ignore them. Here, we have the question, 21 minus what? And here, what minus 9.4? If the missing number or the question mark comes here second, it's 21 minus question mark or 21 minus what? It's the second, then you're going to subtract. We're going to subtract. Big minus small. But if the missing number is the first, like in here, then we're going to add. Add this to this. We're going to add. Again, if it is subtraction, and the missing number is the second, like in this case in question 1, we're going to subtract. If the missing number in the subtraction is the first, we're just going to add, like in question 2. All right, so adding here 1.2 to 9.4, the answer is going to be 10.0. 0.6. That's it. All what we did is just adding them. Oh, is minus always just about adding? We're going to add them? No, if the second number is what's missing, like in question 1, the second number is missing, not the first number. It's not the 21 that is missing. No, we already know it. We need to find the second, the one here that is after the minus sign. The one that comes after the minus sign. If it comes this way, if it's missing, then we are going to subtract. All right, guys? I hope this lesson is clear. Please, if you feel that you need to watch it again, watch it again. It's just about just knowing. The only way that it might be a little bit confusing is to recognize that if the number that's missing, if it's after the minus sign, then we are going to subtract. If it's the number that is missing is before the minus sign, then we're going to add. Of course, remember that whenever you subtract, it's gonna always be big minus small, not small minus big. Thank you so much, year 6, and see you later.